Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw. I'm here with Richard Leibman, who is chairman of Frosch. And Frosch, of course, is one of the largest travel agencies in the United States. And we're here as part of our series of talking to industry leaders, specifically travel agency leaders, about how they started in the business, where they are today, how they grew, and where do they think they'll be tomorrow. And this is Insider Travel Report. Now, Richard, I've known Frosch for quite a long time, and talk to me a little bit about what Frosch is today. How many agents do you have, and where are you located?
James, good morning. Frosch today is a pretty large company. I mean, much larger than when I started it. Mm-hmm. I started it in 1977. The company was founded in 1972 by Edna Leah Frosch.
Okay.
And
how did you end up acquiring it at that point?
I immigrated from South Africa to Houston, and I wanted to be in the travel business. I was passionate about it. I organized the family's travel all over Europe and America.
What was your background before that?
My background before was a family liquor business.
Well, travel and liquor, it's about the same thing, right?
It certainly is. Goes well together. Importers and manufacturers of spirits and liquors in South Africa. And it was a family business that got sold, and then we decided to immigrate in 1977. I came to Houston by accident, really. I read about Houston in a business magazine, and I just came down to look at Houston, and I enjoyed it. It was much easier to live in than New York. And a friend, after a couple of months, said to me, "Why don't you call Edna Frosch at Frosch Travel?"
Right.
So I did that, and it took me a couple of months, and I acquired it. The agency had
How big was it then?
had a total of 4 people, basically a cruise agency.
Everybody starts as a cruise agency. Why is that?
They did, and I think it was a good business.
Right.
It had good commissions, and people earned pretty well.
Right.
It was a good business, and I enjoyed that very, very much. I grew the business over the years through the community. I joined associations, my congregation, and I built the business to about 80 people in Houston.
And just in Houston, but was it purely leisure, or did you go into the corporate sphere at that point?
It was a mixture already. It was cruised in the beginning. I added on some corporate business, and that was a mix, about 60-40.
Right. And how many agents do you have today?
Today we have almost 2,000 agents.
And you have many more offices too, right?
We have many more offices. I think there are a total of about 45 offices around the country.
Wow.
And we now have offices in London, in Bogota, in Manila in the Philippines, Mexico City, and I'm not sure where else.
It's hard to keep track. You're probably opening them up some. Now, what do you think were the keys to your growth? What were some of the key decisions you made starting in 1977? And, obviously there were some bumps along the road with commission cuts and things like that. But what were the keys that kind of really launched your growth to this tremendous agency it is today?
As I said, James, it grown to about 80. And the keys to those were I worked the groups. I got contacts. I did a lot of business to Israel, both Christian business and Jewish business, and it was all very, very personal.
So networking and connections. Right?
Networking and connections. 1998, my son Brian joined the company. And he's a physician who didn't enjoy what he was doing, so he decided to come into the business. That surprised me tremendously. I never thought my son, who was a doctor, was going to come into the business.
Right.
However, he came in, and that's fueled the big growth. He came in at the time commissions were being cut.
Yeah, well, that 98 was the sort of height of all the commission caps and cuts until they were almost eliminated, though as large agencies still continue to get commission, right?
Large agencies got commission. They had to work very hard to make goals and grow the business. The more you grew the business, the more the goals were.
Yeah.
The higher the goals were.
Yeah, no, and so anyway, so Brian came in 98, and then since then, I mean, now we're here, we are 2018, and it's just been, growing exponentially. So what were some of the other things that helped advance the business?
I think Brian understood the corporate business a whole lot better than I did. Mm-hmm. And he started to acquire agencies in different parts of the country, and he did a very good job. Organically, he grew the business, and he acquired many agencies when the business was really down, and agencies, smaller agencies, could not make it on their own. That's when he was able to acquire quite a lot of good companies.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, what percentage of your business would you say is leisure today?
Today, I'd say 30% of our business is leisure and 70% is corporate.
Right. And so was corporate business a key to making the agency survive through those tougher times in the 90s, do you think?
Yes, I think it was. It was that, but the leisure business, the cruise business, and the escorted groups and FIT business grew very, very well. And we pride ourselves on taking a family's personal interest in everybody. We treat all our employees as family. We have a one-on-one with relationship with many of the key people, and those key people have been with Frosch. One has been with me for 36 years, and the other's 30 years. Number of them 30 years, and these are wonderful employees, enormously loyal, and they treat it as part of me. Some of them as my children.
Well, it turns out, and so you think the family aspect is really important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then, as we grew the corporate business, the corporate accounts demanded that we have a presence overseas, and that's when we opened London and started to grow into different parts of the world.
Now, to what importance do you attach to, you belong to a couple of consortium over the years. I mean, how have they helped you grow? You were at Virtuoso at one point, now you're Signature. How has that helped you grow?
It helped me grow tremendously. I got to see wonderful places with Virtuoso, destinations that I perhaps would not have gone to on my own. And the camaraderie of the fellow, my agents and friends was enormous. And you were able to share thoughts and ideas with them all the time. Signature, we joined Signature 20 years ago, and that's been absolutely the best move we ever made.
Why do you think travel agents continue to be valuable both to consumers and to travel suppliers today?
Oh, I think travel agents are invaluable to consumers, to the travelers. They've got all the information available to them on the internet. They can look up anything they like, and you can get an answer to it. But when people are spending the money that they spend, major trips, they want to come in and meet the travel counselor and the consultant and have a hands-on and understand where they're going and feel good about it to know that they're dealing with somebody they can see and they can talk to.
And do you think that's going to continue as we head into more in the millennial generation? People keep talking about, are they going to use travel agents? Most of the surveys say yes, but because it is an advisor, right?
I absolutely think they're going to need them. They're going to use them, and I see an enormous value in the travel agent. I think the travel agent has one issue to deal with. They have to know more than the customer. and that you have to make sure you're ahead of the customer. So that means doing more research and taking care of really extremely special experiences, so that you make that trip that they're buying wonderful.
Yeah. Now, how's business this year and heading into next year for Frosch? What are you seeing?
Business has been extremely good this past year, and next year looks ahead of this year.
Right.
And we're working very hard, but you have to work hard to gain the customer and to keep the customer.
No, that's absolutely true. Now, if you look back over the last, since '77 when you bought the agency, and how things have changed, and yet you've survived and thrived. You've probably been more successful in the last 2 decades than as much as anyone else. And yet, well, what are the kind of the business principles that you've kind of followed to keep that success going?
Integrity. Integrity, loyalty to our agents and employees, and opportunity, looking for opportunity, and growing the leisure business at the high end. That's proving to be the best market, I think, that we can look for. We try to upsell to make sure that we're selling good product. We're looking to make sure that we can just provide the customer with unbelievable experiences, and I think that's what's going to keep us ahead. That's in the leisure business. In the corporate business, which I'm sort of not involved as much in, with, but I see that the accounts demand the service. They also want the lowest price. They're very price conscious, and it's a very stressful business and competitive business, and you've got to provide both of those.
Sure.
So that's hard work.
No, absolutely. Now, so in some
And expensive. And
expensive, yeah.
Expensive.
And so in some, for Frosch and for the future, you see a strong future?
Yes, indeed. I see a very strong future. I hope that my son's got the energy to go on, because he's the future.
Yeah, well, you and he both seem to have the passion in the business to go on.
We do. I enjoy it a lot. I might say that I'm getting too old to be doing this, but when I'm here, I really enjoy. It's part of it's inborn. It's in you.
Right.
And you can't get rid of it. And I don't have any other hobbies.
Right.
So this is it.
So moving from liquor to travel was a pretty good idea back in 1977.
It was. It's a great business. It's a great business, enormous opportunity, but we've always got to remember it is a business. And the vendors, expect production. And we expect production from our travel agents and all the employees, and it's good. I'm happy. My friends used to say, "You're still in business." I thought the travel agents went out of business.
Yeah.
I said, "No, we're not. We're right here. We're right here, and we're thriving."
It's a common question, and you keep got to say it. It's amazing because how many times have I said I'm covering the travel and the travel agency business? Well, I thought they were no longer here, and then we have agencies like yours, which are just thriving and amazing. So, Richard, it's been great to get your thoughts on this. Great to hear your story. Thanks very much for sharing it, and good luck in the future.
Thank you, James. Indeed, it was a pleasure talking to you.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.